Well, hey everybody, I'm Director Grace, and I'm super excited to talk to you a little bit. And I kind of developed this segment of training called, what to expect or thoughts for the new consultant, because I felt like there were some real differences between being employed and being self-employed. And had I understood those when I was a new consultant starting out, I think I would have had an easier time. And so this is what my hope is. My hope is that you'll listen to these and they'll be something that kind of guide you or give you some thought as you're starting your business. And the first thought that I wanted to kind of share with you is that I think it's important to understand that there is a Mary Kay career path. And there are there are kind of three ways you can work the path, or three speeds at which you can do it. But either way, I think it's important to understand that you can go back and forth between those during different seasons of your life. So what I mean is this: you can work this business as a hobby, where it's something that just provides a little extra fun money now and then. You don't give it consistent time. You don't get consistent results from it because of that. And it's just something that helps pay for maybe some Christmas presents or, a vacation, as you want it, that kind of thing. A person who wants to use this, though, as a part-time income or in a part-time scenario uses it very consistently, where this is consistently being worked and consistently contributing to their family's financial situation. On a monthly basis, they are giving it time and attention, and on a monthly basis, they're collecting a paycheck from it. And then there are people that use this in a very full-time capacity, which means they're going to use this to, pay a mortgage. They're going to use this to put food on their family's tables. They're going to use this to provide a different lifestyle for themselves. And here's the thing: you can use it however you want it. And you can change your mind and increase it or decrease it. And I've done both. But I think the key is to understand that you're going to get from it what you put into it. And also, too, you can't switch your mind about it every day. You don't decide you want something less from it just because it got a little hard. You change your mind about how much you're putting into it when your life situation changes, or you want your life situation to change. To give you an idea, I decided that I did not want to go back to practice after my daughter was born. And I realized that I did not just want to go back when she was, born. I didn't want to go back ever. I no longer was passionate about the career, and it didn't give me the kind of financial opportunity or flexibility that I wanted for my husband and myself. And so I opted to work my business at a higher level in a full-time capacity so that I would never have to go back to practice. When my son was diagnosed with autism and he had an extraordinary amount of, medical needs and expenses, I chose to work my business at an even higher level to produce a six-figure income. And I was able to do that and have consistently done that. 3.5 years ago, when my husband took a promotion in John Deere and we moved to Des Moines, I had some all of a sudden new resources for our son Sam, and opted to back my career down so that for 2.5 years I could take him almost every day to multiple appointments. And that was a choice that we made so that we could invest in our son, and not just because, it got hard, and I don't want to work hard at my business anymore. It was, I have the option as an executive in this company. I didn't have to ask anybody if it was okay. I was able to say, you know what, I'm going to invest in my family more heavily. I cut my hours from 45 a week to 20 hours with Mary Kay a week. And was able to have still a very substantial income, work completely part-time on my schedule and at my discretion. And it was such a beautiful thing because he benefited so much from it. And then a year ago this month, when I was ready to come back and those services had run their course and he was doing so well and I knew I was able to, now my career is in the front seat again. And not the front seat of my whole family, but just it's definitely getting more time, and of course it's growing massively. So I want you to understand that you don't change what you're doing with your business based on it was hard. You change it based on, I want this for my life, okay? And again, what you get from it will be what you put into it. I think that that's key. The second thing I want you to understand is that there are emotions when you do anything new for the first time, whether it's start a business or go to college or, a new relationship. Okay, there is a very normal cycle of emotions anytime you put yourself into a new endeavor. What I want you to understand is that it's very normal Okay, it's very normal to start out very excited, and then you have a victory and you feel really good. Um, and then it's usually, a little ways into it, you're going to hit a bump. Okay. And I want you to understand that it triggers emotions, and some of them are kind of yucky and they don't feel real great. It triggers doubt and confusion and fear and frustration. And I want to tell you how to be more successful. And that's in how you deal with those. And that means that, number one, you don't let them stew. Okay. You got to communicate that. And I always tell my girls, I have many gifts and talents, but mind reading just isn't one of them. And so if you will come to me, we can work through that kind of cycle that you're in. But if you let it just kind of marinate in there, you're going to cook up something you don't want. Okay. And it's nasty. And here's the other thing, if you don't communicate it with the right person, it can really change the trajectory of your life. It might seem like a seemingly insignificant thing. Oh, I had a bad day, so I called my gran instead of my director. Well, here's the thing. My gran, she loves me. She wants me to be happy, and she wants to protect me. And God knows I love that woman. But at the end of the day, she's going to say to me, I can hear it already. She would say, Gracie, oh, honey, you don't need to work. Your husband's got a good job. That has nothing to do with anything. And I love my grandmother, but I don't do this because that doesn't have anything to do with anything. But she loves me and she doesn't want me to hurt and she wants to protect me. And that's her way of doing it. Whereas if I call my sales director, who's now my national, Jeannie, she's been where I am. She's where I want to go. She's probably going to be able to coach me through it more effectively. And what's more, she's not going to leave me where I am. And I tell my girls all the time, I'm something so much more than a friend to you. I'm a leader. I'm your leader. Because whereas our friends and family, they love us how we are and where we are, I'm not going to leave you where you are. You've entrusted me with your dreams and the goals you have for your life. I'm not going to let you stay there. I'm going to encourage you to be even better. And the cool thing is that if you'll work with somebody that will help, lead you through it and teach you how to work through it, what happens is you get on the other side of it and you realize not only do you now have the skill to work yourself through, but you're able to do so better and faster. And let me tell you, you want to have a successful life. And I mean in all aspects, not just business or finances or career or any of that. I'm talking about just learning how to be a happier person. Learn how to get back up when you fall down. Because let me tell you, if you're not falling down, that means you're not trying anything. And if you're not trying anything, that's a pretty stale life. Like, let's get out there and try something new. Okay, whatever that is, I don't care. And again, you're able to do it more quickly. And the faster you get up, the less time you spend, hanging on to something that probably is more of a catastrophe in our mind than actually it was in reality. So there are emotions. They're very normal. It's important who you call, and it's important to not hang on to it so long without communicating it to where you're not being supported, you're not getting the help you need, and you're just thinking about it just far too long for what it is. I also think that, and this would be kind of my third gold nugget, if you will, like the first is that, you got to engage your business at the level that you want to achieve, not just at the level, that is convenient. And also that, emotions are really normal, but you got to think about what you're going to do with them. The other thing I think is that it's important to know your role and your director's role. And I really think I had this confused, I don't know. I think sometimes when you work for somebody else, it's very clear what the boss's role is. They kind of lord power over you. But when you all of a sudden are in a Mary Kay business and you have a coach, that's a really different relationship. I'm here to influence you. I want to earn that influence in your life. I want you to trust me, and I want to be trustworthy. Okay. I want to support you and assist you in getting what you want for your business, which is just a crazy situation. If you started a business in your community, a dress shop, it's not like all the other dress shop owners are going to come over and say, let me show you how to be successful. They're not going to do that. But in Mary Kay, that's how we work. It's one of the things I love the most about this company. But there is a difference between your director having a responsibility in your business. Like, I have responsibilities as your sales director. I provide a newsletter to recognize your efforts. I provide training opportunities and events that you can attend. I provide support as far as you can reach me with questions and concerns. And I also provide, like I said, the training, the recognition. I have a responsibility to create, a successful model. And what I mean by that is that I lead by example. But it is not my responsibility to make other people successful at this business. And the reason for that is because you don't need me to. You're a smart cookie. You can do this. And I train powerful women. And so, like, no, I am not a handholder. But what I am is a leader that's going to teach you how to do this. And you already can. Like, you're smart. You don't need me to do this for you. You know how to do it for yourself. And I picked you because I know that you can. So my point in explaining this is that I'm a coach that's going to support you through rough spots. And I'm going to carry you through your season of doubt. I'll hang on to your dream during those seasons. And I will help walk alongside of you during that so that you don't, fall off the course. And I am going to provide you recognitions and meetings. But there are going to be pieces that you have in that too. If you don't turn in your weekly accomplishment sheet, I can't recognize you because I don't know what you're doing. And if you don't show up to the meeting, I can't train you. If you don't come to new consultant training, I can't always get you this information. And I want you to just be really clear on what that role is. Like, my job is to be your leader and to give you a model that is repeatable. If I ran and did every single thing for every single person, first of all, that wouldn't be a very fun job. And second of all, it would be enabling people. And I'm here to empower people. I also think it's important to understand that your director leads by example. You'll see me out in the field holding appointments. My directors are uber strong because they are out in the field doing the job that they're teaching you to do, not just saying, go do it and I'll see how that turns out for you. We lead by example. So I think that that's key. And that gives you a model. Like, I have a great life and I work, but also I work with people who want to make their life better. I'm not here to make other people's lives better. And there's a difference. So again, your director, know your role, know her role. And it just makes it a lot easier. I want you to understand we are so here to support you. It's just we're not like, there is nobody that's responsible for your success but you. And I want you to own that. It's yours. And you know what? I remember hearing somebody say, you're going to make your schedule and you're going to write your paycheck. And I just remember being like, I'm going to make my schedule. I'm going to write my paycheck. And then I started thinking I'm going to make my schedule. And I'm going to write my paycheck and I'm going to decide how much it is. And that is very cool. And you can do it too. And so I would say if you had responsibility in this business, just like I have a responsibility to provide a winning environment, I have a responsibility to lead by example. I create, I have a newsletter so that there is recognition opportunity for my unit. There's training opportunities where they learn leadership and business skill. What would your responsibility as a consultant be? It would be attendance. Okay. You got to show up. Okay. I have degrees in dentistry. I didn't go out and expect that I was going to get a job in dentistry, that they were going to hire me and pay me for it. And then I was going to be like, okay, I like this job. I got a really good job. They pay me a lot of money. Now I'll go back to college and invest in some degrees in dentistry. It doesn't work that way. You have to show up to learn the material, to learn to run the business, and to set yourself. And you've got to continue that as you want to grow. Workload. And Mary Kay, the workload is seeing faces and sharing the company, the Mary Kay opportunity. And so, sometimes I have consultants that'll say to me, I'm just so frustrated. I don't have any team members. Well, how many have you talked to about it? Well, none. Okay, we can stop being mad. That's the problem. We just need to tell somebody about this, and you might have somebody actually want to come along with you. I'll also say too, initiative in contacting your director. At the end of the day, I am one person and I lead an amazing, competent group of women, and it is large, and there are way more of them than there are of me. Do I have time to chase people? God, no. I wouldn't even if I did. But at the end of the day, if you call me and there's something that I can assist you with, and I'm not talking about where do I find this on InTouch? You can figure that out. Go on to InTouch and type it into the search engine. You're a smart cookie. You can do that. But if you are in a jam or you're like, I'm feeling really yucky after the skincare class and I'm stuck, you call me and I will make time. You Vox me and I will Vox you back, or you call. I may not be able to pick up, but I will get back to you. Um, Asking questions and sharing concerns, because again, I'm not a mind reader. In this business, you're here in business for yourself, but not by yourself. I will walk with you. I will match your every effort, but there has to be effort on your part, and it has to be responsibility on your part. The other thing I would say as a consultant, I think it's our willingness to be coached. If you know everything, nobody can teach you anything. But if you're open to something, you can have somebody that really can help you. You know, build an amazing business, but also too maybe increase some other skills. Whether it's interpersonal or maybe it's speaking or whatever it is. But there's a plethora of knowledge here. These are very successful business women in this company. I'll be honest, I was brought up around executives, and I can tell you that the class and the poise and the confidence and the leadership skill, they outmatch anything I've ever seen. Again, I grew up around some of the top executives in the country, and then to see such class and ethics and principle and values, in addition to all that poise and confidence, it was just amazing. And so I will tell you, there's so much to learn, but you have to be open to learning it. So again, know your role, know the role of your director, and know the responsibility of your director, and understand the personal responsibility in being successful. Another thing I'd like to share is that I don't know about you, but some of these were really new ideas for me when I started this business 13 years ago. I'd been raised with some kind of interesting ideas, and I was a little nervous about this. Like I said, I was nervous. This is up to me. I'm the one who's going to, make or break this. But then, I really started owning that. Like, this is up to me. I'm the one at the helm of this. I can do this. And if you'll grab a hold of it like that, there's no set pay. That can sound scary, but let me tell you, there is no set pay. I can make it as big as I want to. And I'm telling you, it sounds like a good thing knowing what you're going to make every week. There's also the truth in knowing what you're going to make every single week and never being able to do anything about it. I love knowing that I'm never stuck. So again, there are some real benefits to this. I also think that some other key differences between being employed versus being self-employed, so employed by someone else or being an entrepreneur, a couple of just real key differences in my mind. Investment. When you work for someone else, you go into the building that they bought and paid for. You go into, you use their stapler, their copy machine, their stuff like that. There are going to be some investments you make in your business when you're the business owner. But if you look, my guess is when you work for someone else, the person who bought the building and the tape and all of that make way more money than the person who goes to work for them. I want to be the person who makes the more money. I want to be the person who has a higher level of influence. I want to be the person that's at the helm of it and in control of the schedule and the time and the days off. I want that. So if that's the case, then I'm going to need to be the one that's willing to make the investment. In Mary Kay, I think investment means showing up to the meetings and the events. It means, when your company or your director tells you that there's going to be a retreat and you that you should really consider coming, I think you really should consider coming. I grew up again with a parent that was an executive. She traveled I want to say 90% of the year. Weeks at a time. We're talking about a couple of days. I think that that's key. I really do. I think that's where you learn. And I've never known anybody, and this is one of my favorite things, never known anybody that just sitting on the couch and one day was just sitting on the couch, I'm going to change my life. Nobody was ever just sitting there eating pork rinds on their couch saying, you know what, I'm going to change my life. No, I think you have to go and be around other people who have changed their life, and that's going to influence you. So I think you have to put yourself around the people. So that could be part of the investment. Like I said, new consultant training, the education. I think it's an investment making the personal responsibility, taking responsibility. I'll also say too, the pay. I mean, I think that it's a big difference when you work for yourself. You decide how much you make, and I think a lot of people are afraid of that. And yet, in the same regard, it's also the part that sets us free. Like, I have a son that has autism. God was going to give me a son that had autism, and I'm so grateful that he did, because that kid's the greatest thing I've ever done. He and his siblings, I mean, my kids are the greatest thing I've ever done. But at the end of the day, I would need a six-figure income to be able to provide him with the things that he needs. And if I didn't have Mary Kay, there would be no six-figure income. When I left dentistry, I made if I had stayed in dentistry, I would be making about $7,000 to $8,000 more than when I left 12 years ago. And instead, I make 3.5, 4 times what I made. I didn't need an income like that then, but I need it now. And so I need to be able to do that. This is great. This is great that I don't have to be stuck. And ultimately, control. You know, he had an appointment just this afternoon. I stopped this little video that I'm recording. I went to the meeting, and then I came back and I started it. And I didn't have to ask for time off. When my daughter, was at school and kind of getting picked on and was not being picked, I knew that for her field trip, they had to do the buddy system, and she was not going to get picked. She was not. I love being on her field trip, and I was her buddy. And I was able to grab her by the face and tell her, don't you dare listen to what any of these kids say. It doesn't matter. And just that she can have that kind of confidence and self-esteem now, because I raised her with that, and I was able to be there in the moments that counted. Success is defined by you, and that is a really great gift. And I teach my consultants to be successful in your business. There are really 3 pillars for achieving that strength and that longevity. And it comes down to, number 1, you got to see the faces and share the company. I mean, that's the workload. The second one, I think you got to have some product, okay? To be successful, Mary Kay, you got to do the work, and you got to have some product. We sell product. That's what we do. I think if I went to the grocery store right now and said I need bread, eggs, and milk, and they said, okay, that'll be 3 weeks, I probably would go somewhere else. I don't think I would stick around for 2 weeks. I need it now. And then the third thing is, I think you got to show up. You got to show up to be successful. And I will tell you that I think if those are the pillars that make a business strong, I think what makes it fast, if you want to build it fast, is some excitement, and with speed and excitement rather. I think that speed and the excitement, I think it comes from, number 1, having some imagination. It is so powerful, and it is not encouraged anywhere else in the world. And if I had to start it again and work from zero to come to this, I would do it again just for this fact. I love that I get to use my imagination here. I was thinking earlier today, you know what? I haven't updated my bucket list in a while. I could not do that at another job, but I love it that I have a bucket list. And the thing I wanted to add to it, I've always wanted to see that Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and I want to take my kids to see that. I'm like, I'm going to put that on my bucket list. I want to see them, and I want to take my kids. The other thing is, I'm like, you know what? I also want to see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I want to see it from one of those balconies of one of those really fancy penthouses right off of the parade route. Like, I want to be up there with my hot chocolate and my blanket, and I want to watch those float things, those big balloons pass by. I think that's awesome, and I will work hard for that. I want to see my kids go to college, and I want to see them work hard and take out student loans and put themselves through. And then the minute they graduate, I want to write them a check for their student loans. I want to be able to do that, and I can do that because I use my imagination and I dream big. And I will tell you that you literally bring about what you think about. And so if you're around a lot of negative people and negative stuff, we've got to infuse some good books and and I can give you lists of great books and CDs. And I stopped watching the news, and there's nothing really good on it. No one's ever listen to this happy thing that just happened. No, it's about something awful that you can't change, even though you know about it, and that's now ruined your day. And I will tell you that I think if it's a debt-free life you want, or a dream home, or a big family, or vacations, or travel, or whatever it is, I just want you in a world where you dream big like that, and you know that you have the tools to get you that. Because let me tell you, I think that's a life worth running towards. And I think a lot of people, they wake up and they go to the same life every single day for 70 years, and they call that a life, but it wasn't even anything they wanted or enjoyed. Don't do that. If you want to be at home with your kids and that's what you want to do, then do that. If you want to travel or show your family a bigger world, then do that. And you can do that here. And so again, I hope these little nuggets help you as a new consultant. And I want you to know that the day that I signed my agreement, I just remember I was driving home that night and the sun was setting. And I just remember thinking, it was almost like this whole life that was laid out in front of me that was being defined by the job that I had, which meant it kind of determined the income I had, and the parameters of the job really weren't ever going to see me in any form of leadership, and I was not going to have much of a voice anywhere, within the company that I worked for. And just all of a sudden it felt like someone just took, like, almost like God just took a huge eraser and erased it. And all of a sudden I was driving into a sunset in this future that I was going to write, and it was going to be my story, and I was the one who was going to determine it all. And it's been the most amazing adventure and journey, and there have been some ups and there have been some downs, and I have learned some crazy lessons. And can I just tell you, I wouldn't trade it. And not just for the things I have or the places I've been or even the relationships I have. I would do it all again because of how I feel about myself and the way that I have raised my family and the people they're becoming. So it is worth it, and it is an amazing journey that you're embarking on. And I hope these tips will help you make the trip just that much more exciting. And I'll be here every step of the way.